Hello, this is Crypto CJ's Trade of the Day, Friday afternoon / evening Zoom edition, Saturday morning for my friends on the other side of the world. And the market's been really choppy this week, mostly consolidating. Bitcoin bouncing around the low to mid 60s, Ethereum the low 3000s. Kind of boring, but ideal day trading situation. Yeah, it's just going like this. So I'm just popping my 1.3%. So it's all good for me. Not very good for swing trading necessarily, but let's go to the chart, check it out. Okay, should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart. I'll assume that's a yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And yeah, the top part of my zone here is between 68.5 and 63.5, and we've been bouncing around there for a while. We did dip below 60 a couple times last week, but bounced back pretty quickly. So that seems to be holding a support. I think that's good news. But we've got another structure forming here. Craig's going to give us an update on what he's got in that department. So I went through Twitter today a little bit. I didn't really see much in the way of cutting edge news. The ETFs have dropped off. That's no surprise. I mean, that could not have kept up those kind of inflows forever. So still a lot of posts about how bad institutions want Bitcoin so they can throw it in an ETF and charge a management fee, because that's what they do. So that makes sense. And otherwise, not much going on. Let's look at Ethereum. And still hanging at the bottom part of my zone at 31.5 or 3,150. So not much going on there. Lost a point today on Ethereum. More news about Solana and the meme coins going on that chain as opposed to Ethereum. I wonder if Ethereum will face the law of supply and demand and reduce its gas fees to better facilitate movement on that chain. We will see. But that's about all I have for the markets overall. Craig, do you want to share now? Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Take it away, my friend.
When you give me rights.
Oh, I got to stop my share. All right. You should be able to share, though.
So we can see that.
Yeah,
I
we
get
can
to
see
share.
it. Break out, break
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So we went through this procedure as it zoomed up to the halving, which was right at the apex, and
Mm-hmm.
it broke out just before, and it went through this movement here. So we are looking at the one day time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And it now seems to be in this pennant here, or this ascending wedge. I'm not sure of the correct terminology,
Yeah.
but it just looks like it's in that wedge, and that sort of lines up with these points of what do they call them? The
Volume points
points
of
of
control.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah, volume points of control. That's the words I was looking for. So that sort of fits with that strongest one being around here. So that takes us through to mid-May. So I sort of, what we know is going on and what we can predict outside of everything else is we expect Bitcoin to sort of do this for the next month. So so that sort of fits with the wider views of what happens after a halving, and there's a consolidation period and not a lot really happens in the immediate term. So I just see it meandering up for the next month.
Meandering. I like that word. I think that's what I was thinking. Like a slow slog, mostly sideways, somewhat up, but I think meandering is a better word.
Yeah.
I like it.
So that's my take on that at the current point in time.
All right.
But who knows? I mean, I think we can at any time we can have a breakout and it can be very different to what we're predicting. So can't rely on that. But looking at this, it looks like quite a good time to take a Bitcoin long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think between 60 and 64 is a good entry for that kind of thing. Not financial advice, but maybe like on low leverage or a spot trade, riding it back up to the high near 74, which we
Up
should
around
hit.
there,
Yeah.
or riding it right up. Oh, right, the 74's up here.
Yeah. So either
Yeah, so riding it right up to the
or
peak.
taking, taking portions of profit out as you go up could be a way to go to for those of you interested in longer swing trades. So, all right. Well, any questions or comments about Craig's chart here or the markets overall? All right. Thanks for that, Craig. Kicking you out or off the
Cool.
share. And let's see if we can find some trades for the weekend on Altcoin Alert. So I will go through the first setup in some detail, and then I'll go through things a little more quickly. So I'm on the Altcoin Alert Altcoin radar setup. I'm going to reload to get the most current information. And then my first sort, my go-to is the AA score. Looking for values 80 and higher, though I will bend the rules to get down into 78 or 79 if there's a coin there I like. I do have alerts set on Filecoin from this morning, and then I see Render has worked its way up to 81. So let's look at Render we'll look at these as both day trades and swing trades. I've different layouts for both. So this is my 15-minute layout, which I use for day trading. I've got the supply and demand visible range, which I use for support and resistance. The red is the resistance, green is support. I have the RTI, the relative trend index. I put alerts on this to usually two different approaches. One is like you see here, a dip below the 20 and then a recovery, or a break above the 80 and a dip back down. Those are longs and shorts respectively. And then I also like to put alerts on this 50 line for when they break above or break down. And that's more my trend-based approach. I will look at the cumulative delta indicator for confirmation on that. So that's in a few sentences how I evaluate my day trading options. So I have found that RTI alerts going off on the 15-minute is similar to often a 1-2-3 dip or a 1-2-3 pump on the 5-minute chart. And those of you who've gone through the iCoin Pro training will know what I'm talking about for dip trades. Okay, so let's look at Render, and at the moment we're in the green zone on the 15-minute chart, and we haven't broken above the 20 yet. I usually like to see that evidence of recovery before I get in, but this isn't a bad entry. So you might want to consider that, or you can put an alert on the RTI, and here's how you do that. Right click. We're going to be crossing up on the 20. If you want to keep it on all day, choose once per bar close. If you just want to get in this trade once, leave it on only once. Alert name, call it what you want. I usually use the information source, AA score purchase. If you type this 5 or 6 times, TradingView will remember it. And for a notification, open an app, show pop-up, and then play a sound. I usually use like chirpy and 3 notes reverb and handbell, depending on what strategy I'm doing. I'll usually choose that. For this one, I would probably go with chirpy and click create. And that's my alert. You can see how the white line darkened are thickened a bit here on the bottom of the RTI. If I hover my cursor, it'll show me that I've got an alert there. Plus I can go over here and confirm this way as well. Now that's for more of a spot trading approach, or if you just want to trade longs. If you're a more experienced trader and you want to trade both directions, both longs and shorts, instead of just crossing, we're going to enter a channel. I choose 80 as my top range, 20 as the bottom, once per bar close, AA score. And again, if it dips below the 20 and comes back up, that alert will go off. It breaks above the 80 and dips back down, that alert will go off as well. So the alert goes off in two different scenarios with the entering channel approach. And I'll do a different alert, go with the 3 notes reverb. And there we go. So you can see that it's created this rectangle. But having the crossing on the 20 and the zone that I've chosen, this entering channel, is redundant, so I'm going to turn this one off. So it's just this one. Okay. Another option is to wait for a more definitive move and then choose the 50 value. If you're trading spot, you're instead of crossing up on 20, cross up on 50. And then if you want to trade both directions, instead of crossing up, you just choose crossing. So this will trigger if it either goes down or goes up at the 50. Once per bar close, and you know the rest. So that's how I do alerts on the RTI on my day trading layout. Any questions on that before we look at render as a swing trade?
CJ, this is Peter. Hi.
Hey.
Hey, it's interesting that coin of the week for CryptNation is Render, and their entry point is 9.25.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of high. I think they talked about that yesterday, and they either said it was
I
a
missed
typo.
yesterday. Yeah, I didn't see
Okay,
that.
I think they said it was a typo. That wasn't supposed to be that high.
Oh,
But
okay.
let's look at render on a better chart for that, and that would be our 1 hour chart here. So yeah, that newsletter usually comes out on Tuesdays.
Right.
So I'm not sure why it was 9:20. I think it was supposed to be 8:25. That makes a little more sense.
Yeah, they did say that was
All
a
right.
typo.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I set a low buy order at 8:01 before the last dump and picked up
Okay,
an
that
entry
makes sense
there.
because their stop loss was 621, so I wondered why it was such a big range from 9.25.
That's still a pretty big range even from 8:25, but
Yeah.
on a spot trade, not so bad, I guess. But yeah, so we're here. Let's check it out as a swing trade. You kind of bounce between the 30 and the 1 hour to look for my entry. Right now it's in a sell position on the 30. I think it is on the hour as well. Yeah, it's printing a sell, and I'm using the SuperTrend for my alerts, and I still have the supply demand visible range for support and resistance, and then I have this Trendilo LSMA. It's a moving average indicator that I use for confirmation on these trades. So, these are easy alerts to set. If you want to get in sooner, go with the 30. And you just right click on the SuperTrend. If you want to trade both directions, you can leave it on direction change. We're going for a buy in this example. We're just going to use this once. And this was an AA score. Notifications, I would go with a handbell telling me that that's a swing trade alert. Click create, and you're good to go. If this comes back up and starts to show some strength to the upside, it'll probably trigger an alert around here, around 840, 850. And then you've got a pretty clear definitive resistance up here on the half-hour chart. Let's say that goes off around 840 and you get in. I mean, your potential profit is, 10%. If it, shoots up that over the weekend, that's awesome. If it takes, a week or two, that's pretty good as well. And then if you want to go for a bigger move, you look at the setup on a larger time frame. Let's see, maybe either 8 hour or 4 hour, the day chart. I mean, this has been up, and well into double digits. So if you got that 840 entry and you held on longer, there's 40% there at 1190. So that's an amazing swing trade. It might take a few weeks, even a couple months to go to return that. But like Bryce says on CryptNation, price has memory. So it wouldn't surprise me if Render, came back up. And I've got 3 positions in it, waiting for it to do that. So I'm committed on one of my swing trades. So the CryptNation guys like this one, so did a little research, liked it too. Got a couple what I thought were good entries, but unfortunately caught that dip a couple weeks ago and messed up my position. But did some ladder buying and improved it. We'll see how that plays out. Okay, any questions on Render as a swing trade? All right, let's go back to Altcoin Alert. And one of my favorite swing trading sorts is the long-term sentiment. And I like to match that up with the Elder Impulse Daily. So when they're both in agreement, that's usually worthy of investigation. But we've only got 3, bullish on the Elder Impulse Daily. So in that situation, I'll flip it and look for what's bearish. Because if it's bearish on here, it's been beaten down. It may dip further. But I'm going to use my technical analysis alerts to get a better entry. So we got audio here that's bearish. SNX. So let's look at those. Got some background noise, guys. So everyone, please mute if you're not talking or about to talk. Shoot, now I got to do it myself. All right. So we were going to look at SNX, I believe. So as a day trade, yeah, we broke above the 20 recently, but then it's dipping back down again, and that happens. So I would set that alert to catch that second dip below the 20. I mean, it may not come down, but I mean, if you want to get in now, that would be reasonable. Just to hold some funds back for additional purchases or set a stop loss. I would probably trade this both directions. So my alert would be the entering channel option, 80-20. And this is long-term sentiment. And probably go with like 3 notes reverb or something like that. So that's your alert on the SNX. If you just want to catch the 50 values, it's really done well breaking above 50. Let's look at catch that vertical line here. There's a break there, really nice move up. 4.5%. Break down here. Not as good. Actually goes down about 1.3. I might have gotten out there. then it goes against, probably pick up an additional purchase and then get out around here. And then another, this second breakdown is actually the better one. So, and it hasn't broken above the 50 yet. So that's still in play. And that's an easy alert. You go crossing if you're trading both directions, and crossing up if you're trading spot. Okay, any questions on the SNX day trade? Okay, the swing trade. Look at the half hour and the hour. And pretty close to the green zone. We're in a buy on the SuperTrend. The Trendilo is turned green. It dipped and went green, then went red. This isn't a bad entry. And then your red zone is up about 7% on the 30-minute chart. On the hour, about the same. 4 hours, quite a big difference. Because SNX was up, over $5 not that long ago in late March. It really got hammered. So if you want to stay in a longer swing trade, probably for weeks, months, years, at least weeks, probably a couple months, less than a month ago is up 70% from where it is now. So go back to the 30, maybe get in now, or you want better evidence of movement, you could set an alert on the hour. SuperTrend. Yeah. SuperTrend buy, alert name, long-term sentiment. Choose your notification alert and you're good to go. All right, any questions on synthetics? Okay, we'll do probably at least one more sort on Altcoin Alert. And we did a long-term sentiment sort, AA score. I've been using social activity a lot, more on the day trading side. But we'll look at this for a spot or for a swing trade as well. T-Fuel, I used to trade that back in the day. It's been a while. And again, I'm matching up thumbs up on the social activity and the trading activity. H-bars had a wild ride this week. Let's look at that one. Traded this yesterday. I think I set alerts on it today, but it hasn't gone off. Maybe just once. Down 7%. Yeah, for the week, you got the performance down here. I don't focus on this very often, but TradingView does keep the longer term value or performance information up 35% for the week, down 7% for a month, up 49% for 3 months, 83% in a year, but you can read these year to date, 6 months. So yeah, this one's been pumping. All right, we're on the 15-minute chart at the moment. And yeah, this one hasn't broken above 20. Hasn't been above 20 since 3 in the morning my time. So I think this one's due, but I'd want to see a strong move above the 20. We don't have that at the moment, so I wouldn't take this trade yet. But this would be a good one to set an alert on. Just crossing up on the 20. Wait for that to happen, and could be a nice entry. Yeah. Do the same for the 50. This one breaking above the 50 did that here. Didn't do great though. Yeah, almost 3%, not bad. There were multiple breaks above the 50 that you could have gotten in. And when you leave this on all day, this is the downside. If it putzes around where you have your alert set, whether it's on the 50 or the 20 or both, sometimes alerts go off frequently. I like these right here when it's, you know, practically a straight line up. Those are the ones I like to get in on. When they're kind of putzing around like this, I'm less interested in those. Okay. So this 50 breakdown was a fake out, but eventually it worked out on the short side. Goes up 6%, but then comes down, you know, 5%. That one's quite the ride. And then this breakdown here, the 50, you know, takes us down about 5%. Okay. Any questions on H bar as a day trade? Okay, on the swing trade side, we can, let's see, go to the 30-minute chart. Okay, wow. Yeah, I remember this big move up to nearly 18 cents. Then it gave most of it back. So I'd be waiting for this buy signal, but there's lots of room to get back up to where it was. So if the buy signal triggers around here, you know, wow, 40% potential. So that one's intriguing for a bigger move, but could take longer. And oh, well, shoot, here's a news item. H bar crashes as BlackRock denies any ties to Hedera. So maybe there was, yeah, there was news. Here's the news from 2 days ago. All right, well, that's probably what pumped it. And then this is what brought it back down. Just kidding. Sort of like the ETF news we had in early January. So yeah, it's always a good idea to look at these little news bites. Most of the time there's not much useful there, but in this case there is. So yeah, this one, so for it to pump this high is unlikely, but you know, could it go this high? Probably. You know, still a good project. That hasn't changed. So, but a 9% move to this resistance seems possible. That'd be a pretty good swing trade. Okay, I just saw alert go off. Filecoin. Yeah, let's go over here. See what's going on with Filecoin. All right, so that just dipped below the 80. And we're coming out of the red zone. We're kind of in no man's land in the middle, which isn't too bad for a day trade. So if you want to take a short, pick up a quick, you know, 1 to 2% down to the green zone, 2.5. You know, that could be your short on File. I think I will do this one. I'm already in this, okay. Because I took this trade here. So this broke down the 20 and I took this short. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and stay with that. All right. So we looked at H bar and File. Any questions on those two? Okay, before the recording started, we were talking, I think it was Frank who wanted to look at, was it Arrow and Solana? You still out there, Frank? Okay.
Yes.
And were you those are just two coins you wanted to look at, or were you
Well,
making a
I just
comparison?
wonder,
Or
yeah, comparison. What if you were going to buy soon, which one would you lean towards?
well, Solana has the bigger market cap. It's dipping now pretty hard. So this has, obvious resistance here around 158. That's 13.5%, but if I go to the day chart, this was over 200 not that long ago. So this has retrace potential 40% easily. And, Solana's a great project, but Arrow, you can buy that on Coinbase. I did a swing trade on, a spot swing trade on this back in March, I believe, which did really well. Let's go to the 30 and look for an entry. It's come down pretty hard. But on the safety side, especially on a spot trade, I would probably go with Solana because I don't mind keeping that. Where Arrow is a newer project, it has probably more upside. Let's look at, we're in the green zone on the hour. And 25% retrace on the day chart. Trace is about the same. So yeah, I think I would, on a spot trade, I would lean towards Solana just because that's one I wouldn't mind owning and throwing it into my Exodus wallet or whatever. But Arrow probably has more profit potential, but it's riskier. What do you think, Frank? Your opinion is as valid as mine.
I would go with Arrow.
Ah.
Well, I heard Rao talking about it.
You mean Ran?
No,
Oh, someone different?
yeah.
Okay.
And I think he was saying it's the fourth largest amount of money on it now. Like number 4 of all of the DEXs exchange kind of.
Yeah, I crushed on this.
Coinbase basically is totally behind it.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point.
he was projecting Solana at least 300 to 600, but easily could go to 1,000 or 2,000 Solana. Projecting Arrow 30 or more, $30 or more. So whatever.
Well, if you have the
they're
means,
they're all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't mean anything. I know that, but in terms of when Bitcoin takes off after it chops around after the halving, and we are in the full on bull run, I just thought Arrow had more upside. So
yeah,
anyway,
yeah, I agree with you on that.
I mean, I definitely own Solana, and I would
Mhm.
love to see Solana at 1,000. That would be
Mhm.
fantastic. But
Yeah, I hear that.
whatever. Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. But if you have the means, you believe in both projects, buy them both.
Of course,
But if you have to choose,
I already have.
yeah, yeah, I have a
Well-
bag of Solana that I've had since last year, and then I did, as I mentioned, I did a swing trade with Arrow in March and did really well with that. So I'm not always, maybe the superstition in me is reluctant to go back to do another one with the same coin, going in at a higher amount. But yeah, I agree with Frank. It does have more upside. Okay, any other questions or comments or things you want to look at? All right, I will wrap it up here. If you are watching on the recording, thanks for that. Hope to see you live next time. Check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel. Otherwise, you guys have a good weekend, and hopefully I'll see you Monday. Bye.